hit rock bottom fast. Like if there's something in your way that, a pattern that's gonna let you not be successful, and for me the pattern that I had that was not letting me be successful was too much complexity, pack ratting stuff, taking on too much, and not doing any one thing well.
Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. Today we have David Gonzalez, who is the founder of Simply the Coolest, LLC, and the Internet Marketing Party, trademark. David specializes in affiliate management, joint venture management, direct response marketing, social networking, and is often referred to as a super connector. Over the years, he's developed hundreds of key relationships with the top affiliates and super affiliates in multiple industries. Awesome, David. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Landon. I feel privileged. Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking at all the other folks on this list, and
you're a lucky man.
This is a great idea. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no, it's great. Great to have you. So, so tell me about your. First of all, tell me like what Internet Marketing Party is, and like what you kind of like do day to day right now.
Sure. Internet Marketing Party, I started 8 years ago when I started going to conferences and marketing seminars and workshops, and I noticed that there was this trend that I never ended up in the actual speaker room, the ballroom, because I'm sitting at the bar doing the hallway scene, talking to people like we're talking right now, except the camera's rolling, and I just found myself naturally inclined to do that. And one day I went into the ballroom, and it just seemed like it was just one person trying to pitch the whole thing, and I realized, well, even if they made this much money at the back of the room, there's a lot more money being made at the bar. And joint ventures and strategic alliances and actual businesses being formed together. And me and some friends were having drinks, and I was like, what if we were to bring a speaker into a bar in a 20-minute TED Talk style presentation where not just were they giving content, but it was based on reciprocity, because it's very rare that a speaker's talking to a group of people that have made more money than them and are more successful than them. Usually a speaker's talking to a group of beginners or intermediate people. So there's that, and then I put together a think tank for them. I asked them, what's your biggest challenge in your business?
The speakers you asked.
So the primary thing that makes these presentations very valuable is that I ask the guest speaker before they fly in, what is your biggest challenge, your biggest struggle in your business? And then whatever they answer, my Rolodex is enormous. So I reach out to people and curate a 12-person mastermind or an advisory board for one afternoon.
At the event?
The afternoon before they speak. So right now, Landon, I'm sure there's something happening at Ontraport that you just, if you could crack that, you would next level. Right? So it doesn't matter if you're Bill Gates or if you're a startup, working out of your basement. There's a problem you're trying to solve, and when it's aching like that, you want the solution. So I curate this mastermind for them, call it a think tank, and they're so overwhelmed with appreciation at the end of it. But I don't allow them to reciprocate to me. I ask them to just lay it all out on the stage, because then those mastermind attendees will be in the room, and so now they want to really impress and share information that they normally wouldn't. So, and we record those presentations and we put them in a membership area, and so that's what Internet Marketing Party is. So it's everybody wins. The people that come to the live events, they get to be, instead of going to a 3-4 day conference, it's one night at a bar. And they usually go till 1 in the morning.
Oh, it's a total party.
The doors open at 7, and it's just a big gala for networking.
And how often are you doing this?
Once a month.
Once a month, where?
Yeah, Austin.
How come I haven't been invited? I'm not in the Rolodex. Your Rolodex
we met many years ago briefly, after you had just gotten off of a stage at Yannick's Underground.
So this happens in Austin. That's why I'm not invited, because that's far from me.
No, we have people fly in. We've had speakers all the way from Australia.
I was kidding.
No, but I'd love to have you.
Good.
No, it'd be fun.
Tell me.
What would your biggest challenge be?
No, this is an interview with you, sucker. All right. So
this is what I love. I love what I do because I get to do. I'm usually in your seat. In fact, on my way up here, there was some other folks in the industry that I told them I was coming up here, and they said, "Oh, you're being interviewed?" They're used to me interviewing my speakers for the party, so yeah.
Awesome. Role reversal. So, what do you feel like is your unique skill set?
My unique skill set is being able to build trust and depth in relationship very quickly with a wide. One of my good longtime friends, his name is Steve Oscui. He's a venture partner at the Founders Fund. So he like offices with Peter Thiel, and he told me one day, he's like, Dave, I've never met someone who can connect and build trust so quickly with such a range of folks, from like a homeless guy to a billionaire, and everything in between. And I just like doing it. It makes me feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm connecting with someone. And not connecting, I feel, is such an overused word, but when I feel it, it's like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's my one thing.
And so that obviously is, the way relationships start, and relationships are how partnerships start.
Yeah.
So, valuable, unique skill to be able to connect with people. What would you tell somebody who feels like, a lot of entrepreneurs, consider themselves to be visionaries, and they're, oftentimes introverts. And what would you tell to somebody who doesn't feel, walks into a room of people at a conference or a room of prospects?
It's easy. If I had just that much, the first thought that came to my mind based on what you were describing was buy the book that I'm sure you've heard of, but you may not have read it, because it's a classic. It's a seminal
How
book.
to Win Friends and Influence People.
Absolutely. I mean, but it's like, I feel like every connector that creates a course on connecting they're just rehashing that book, which is why I've never created a course on that.
Yeah.
There's only one person I know who I've ever learned much more about connecting than that book. But
that's it. Read the book.
Because I could give you some tactic, but it's already been written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. This business, Internet Marketing Party, and you have the other one as well, which is?
It's a joint venture affiliate management agency.
Okay, gotcha.
So we represent product and offer owners that want to recruit and have affiliates and JVs promote for them. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And they hire us. Like, in fact, one of your Ontraport users, Paul Hoffman.
Oh yeah.
Longtime client.
Oh good. He's going to be on the show.
Yeah. I love that man.
Yeah, he's great.
P. Hoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good one. Tune in for P. Hoff's show. He's just such a character.
Yeah,
he was Pink Floyd's tour manager
of
for
course,
many years.
of course.
If you know Paul for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, then you know that. So he's worked with you to bring affiliates to his thing. Great. So what do you do? What are you doing that's working now to grow that business?
The JV agency or the internet marketing?
Well, either one.
Well, what I'm doing to grow the JV agency is I recently stepped down as CEO, and I'm serious. And
getting out of the way to grow the business.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I learned from a mentor that helped walk me through this process is that I am no longer allowed to quote pricing or touch any numbers when I'm talking to. So if you were to say to me right now, Landon, like, hey, we might want to talk with you. I know we have an affiliate person, but they started out as that, and now they're doing. That's what happens. We get called a lot because someone hires an affiliate. That's
exactly how the conversation would go. That's pretty much exactly how the conversation would go. Yeah.
We hired an affiliate manager, but they started doing this, and now they run all of our email marketing. And they don't have time to do the affiliate, so they bring us in because that's all we do, and we have all the relationships in the network and whatnot. But because I build trust so readily, and I'm such a that thing is, it took me a while to say this myself, but so many people have said it that I don't feel like I'm a douche saying it. But people say, everybody loves David.
Yeah.
You don't know David, and I was like, it took me at first. I was like, me, what's going on? But now it's the thing, and so. But because I build those relationships, when you're a bro with someone and they go, how much is your thing? I would just say,
like, whatever.
But then he's like, then you're anchoring that price. And if it's not the right client to bring on, because there's some clients you need to charge more because they're just going to be more resourced. I mean, when you're doing a service-based business, there's a lot more resources that are going to be taxed in the system. So let your CEO and your sales team decide that, because they're going to be talking. And I was like, okay. And that's already started taking off. Last night I was at a big exclusive party and for all super affiliates and product owners, and one of them said, like, he would be a dream client. He goes, dude, so I don't really know how you, like, is it a flat fee or is it not? And Tanya, my new CEO, was with me, and I said, talk to her about that. And she gave me a high five, and we were like, yes, you're implementing, because as us visionaries, we get advice sometimes from consultants and mentors that really know what they're doing. And sometimes the reason we weren't doing it is because it's a shift, right? We have our patterns and our ways of being, and we do them for a reason. And then somebody comes over and says, you got to tweak it this way, and it takes work. So.
Good. So that's a perfect lead into my next question, which is what are you like learning about? What are you excited about? Kind of what's the cutting edge for you personally right now?
The reason I'm pausing is because I don't know if it would serve your audience more to talk about a technology or a tactic or something, as opposed to what I'm really, if you want to know what I'm really learning personally and professionally, is The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. So Jay's a personal friend of mine, and I realized the other day that I hadn't ever read the book, and I realized it because I was laying in bed at night, and I woke up with a massive migraine, and I don't usually get migraines, but it was based on business stress and tension. And I woke up and I was in sheer agony, and I didn't want to wake my wife up, and I didn't want to call. It was 3 or 4 in the morning, and it was pain. Like, I felt like shit, like this is hell. And I decided to journal. To just, I didn't even want to take aspirin, because I wanted to find out what's this about, And so I started journaling. And I realized that there was too much in my mind. There was too many open loops, too much complexity, too many unknowns. It was right before deciding to step down as CEO. Like, I didn't know that I was going to do that, but it was this was the lead into that. And I said to myself, man, the only way I can imagine to get out of this hell is to think and focus on something that will clarify it and be able to zoom me in on the next action. And I thought, well, what's the next action? And I thought, what's the one action that, I was like, that's in the book. So there's this, and I went to my bookshelf and I pulled it out, and I looked for like 15 minutes to find the one line, that the question that you're supposed to ask, because I wanted to get it perfect. And I started skimming through the book, and I was like, and my headache started to subside as I started to because I was just skimming the book. I was like, oh, the domino thing. Oh, like, I'm doing too much. I'm running Simply the Coolest. I'm running Internet Marketing Party, and I'm running the Black Card Group, and I'm being a good dad, and I'm being a good husband, and my wife works with me in the company, and there's just so much going on. And my dad's like not very healthy. He's not in a good way, and he lives 5 hours away, and there's all this stuff happening. And I was just like, what is the one thing I can do today such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And answering that question the first time it was worse than the headache, but I knew that I had to. It's like having a broken bone, and you got to sometimes break it again to reset it. It's a horrible analogy, but sometimes you've got to go through the breaks. If the first time you went surfing, that was hell, getting past the breaks. If you're not willing to do that, you can't have the beauty of, just riding on that wave. So
that's what you're
the one thing is what I'm learning. Because I think a lot of times people learn things and they just ingest them and internalize them and intellectualize them. So to me, I'm bringing the one thing into experience. So experiential learning. And every morning I answer the question. In fact, you just helped me remember that I didn't finish answering the question this morning. So thank you.
Yeah, you did that, but good.
Yeah, well, you asked the question.
Okay, good. So you've been at this for a while now.
Yeah.
If you could travel back in time and give your early career self a bit of advice, what would it be?
It would, this is gonna sound ridiculous that it's the same, because I'm not trying to pitch their book. Like, they're not a client or anything. But I would probably say, like, take on too much stuff, and that's really worth doing, and then give yourself a migraine headache and read this book. Because I think sometimes we have to hit rock bottom. If I had given myself just the advice, read the book or focus on one thing, it wouldn't be enough. I did my first intervention last November for my younger brother. I flew up to Chicago, and he was in a bad way, and I told him, dude, I'm here to bring you home and put you in a recovery center, or let you live out your life this way. But there's some bad things that have happened, and if you're ready to come home and change your life, let's do it. I said, but I'm not urging you to come. You need to hit rock bottom, and I don't know if this is it. And he just said, yeah, this is it. And now he's a year and a half sober, doing the work.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't. And so same with me. Like, I think if I could give myself some advice, it's hit rock bottom fast. Like, if there's something in your way, a pattern that's going to let you not be successful. And for me, the pattern that I had that was not letting me be successful was too much complexity, pack ratting stuff, taking on too much, and not doing any one thing well.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of things okay.
And what would you like your legacy to be?
That one, as a result of doing this practice, I've come up with a lot of clarity on recently, and it's really big. My legacy, I would like to be, in a perfect world, that this is the first time I've talked about this publicly, so that's why I took a deep breath when I saw that question. But to form a global coalition of influencers that, then when I mean influencers, I'm talking about the Warren Buffett, the Pope, the leader of the KKK, or the leader of the Shiites. Like, take some of the more just influential people, and put them in a room, in an environment that creates real connection, to where they come in thinking, like, they don't know what's going to happen, but they come in thinking one thing, and they leave thinking of something better for all of us.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
But really doing that, not as a concept, but as a real, almost, I don't know yet how I would like to do it, but when I envision Beyonce in this, in a small, kind of retreatish environment with the leader of the KKK, as an example, and I'm just using that one for effect.
Yeah.
But it could be anything. Like, I'd love to. That would be like heaven on earth if I could do that with a lot of different. It would just be amazing. That would be my legacy. If I can make that happen, I'll die a very, very happy man.
Yeah, amazing. And you're creating a sort of like a pathway towards that, I guess, with the career choices you've taken so far, with by basically being in the influencer, kind of working your way up, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. So what do you think it means to be a modern entrepreneur? How's it different today than it was in the past?
Well, obviously the internet is a huge piece, and that almost feels too obvious of an answer. So I think today a modern entrepreneur is someone who takes action on their ideas and validates early to the point of knowing that there's a market, and then continues to reiterate. Now, what I just described, if someone does that and they attach a price tag to it, they're a modern entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's it. It's just this really simple, clear process of experimentation. It's almost like scientific in a way that it wasn't in the past, huh?
Yeah, because there's a lot more technology, a lot more resources. You can validate things very quickly. You have marketplaces that you can just put something up, put it in front of them, and you either sell some or you don't. And if you don't, then keep churning. And if somebody's willing to do that, and does it and they execute, then they're an entrepreneur. And people that don't do that or don't try, then and they call themselves entrepreneurs, then they're not, whether it's modern or old. But back in the day, you either were one or you weren't. Now I think people can use that word, and it doesn't mean anything if they're not doing what I just described. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Cool.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Will you sign our wall?
Yeah.
Awesome. Pick a spot.
My goal is to reach as many agency owners out there as possible and to get them in the right place at the right time. Facebook Messenger the bots out there allow you to do that. So like one of the things that I've done is change my contact page to a messenger bot that starts the conversation and then gets them to the right place at the right time.